Welcome back, hunters. We're starting off this monster slaying bonanza with the only harpy-like monster in the series. This group of winged wyverns I will refer to as the Pseudo Wyverns due to their non-characteristic wyvern feel. Starting off this list is Saragios, also commonly known as Steve. For those of you that are just now joining me, I have embarked on a mission to scientifically rank all the monsters in Monster Hunter Sunbreak by measuring key determinants of difficulty that include how many potions I use, how many times my palico or followers heal me, how long it takes me to kill the targeted monster, and how many carts I receive. An example of my previous hunt where I did this is posted above in the card. I also have some very exciting news today and wanted to mention the powerful Jaycan will be joining me to provide his hammer experience and commentary after each monster. This time I will show a tier list for all the Pseudo Wyverns, all the wyverns in general, and a massive one at the very end for all the monsters I've ranked so far. Now back to the deadly harpy. Saragios is a really unique monster that attacks primarily with his clawed feet and can cause deadly bleeding. He is one of only 2 monsters in Sunbreak with bleed damage. There are a couple ways to remove the bleed damage, and my go-to is to stop, stoop, and pray like so. Saragios is not to be taken lightly and did actually give me 1 cart. Those experienced with him can pretty easily learn his attack patterns, and like previously shown wyverns, he prefers to attack in sets of 2. As a GS user, I describe the fight as exhilarating. I could maintain the control of the battle, but if I wasn't paying attention, Saragios could easily have the opportunity to gain the upper hand. Overall, this winged terror used up 6 of my potions, 9 palico heals, and had a clear time of 7 minutes and 19 seconds with 1 cart over a span of 2 hunts.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. If you're watching this right now, that means me and the homie Guard One collabed. That's right. And I just want to talk a little bit about the experience. It kind of feels like a real life Monster Hunter quest, man. He pulled up in my Twitter DMs and he was like, bro, I heard you're good with the hammer. I have these 5 monsters I want you to hunt with a hammer with these parameters. Keep track of how many times you heal, keep track of how many times you get healed, keep track of how many times you get carted. Go. Can you do that for me? And I was like, hell yeah. So we did it. We did the assigned quest. We crushed it. I had a good time hunting these monsters and crafting a specific set for it. And yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about what went down in each of these clips. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the video. As always, people, happy hunting. Now on to the clips. Alright, so in this clip, you see it starts out, Fiorane's doing her thing on the wyvern ride, right? So she finishes the wyvern ride, boom, which means he's tethered to the floor, he's chained down, right? Then I come in with the hammer action. Blow, KO, but then he gets stunned. My man is stunned, KO'd, and wired up. He got hit with a whole taser gun and we just going crazy on him, breaking parts and everything. Look at him, he's just suffering, that's crazy. Alright, in this clip, once again, I'm showing off that going from purple to yellow. Another reason why I like doing it is because it allows me to reposition, right? So when you swap, your character does like an evade or whatever. But also, I wanted to showcase that I accidentally did hit the endemic life. But don't worry, I did count it in the heals that I received. But it didn't even really matter because the hunt ended it anyway, so...
Now here we have a saber-toothed tiger with wings. He appears more closely related to palico than dragon, but I'm no biologist. Coming back from Iceborne is none other than Baryoth, not to be mistaken with Baryoth. Baryoth looks interesting, and in rare cases I do see him harness his inner wyvern and fly around a little bit. He's one of the few monsters in Sunbreak to harness the power of ice other than Velkhana and Lunagaron. As a GS user, his tail draws me in and is an easy target. There isn't a whole lot more to say about Baryoth. But in the end, he took 3 of my potions, 6 palico heals, and an average clear time of 6 minutes and 31 seconds with no carts.
Alright, so this clip, still pretty early in the hunt. Baryoth had already run away from me once, probably because he knew he was about to get knocked the mess out. So as I catch up, jump off the cliff, bow, we get our first KO, and then you're going to see me do something I'm going to do a lot here, and that's switching from purple back to yellow hammer. Because this allows me to pull off as many level 3 charge attacks in succession without actually waiting the full time to charge up to level 3. Alright, so on display in this clip, you're going to see, boom, water strike, which is the hammer's counter, right? If you're standing still, not charging your hammer, and you push the A button right as you get attacked, boom, you're invincible, you do a counter, and you get to follow up with a golf swing. And it just so happened to be the last hit of the hunt. Don't you love closing out a hunt with a nice attack like that?
Now this is definitely the most wyvern-like wyvern on my list. and really made me struggle with naming this video. Metal Ridley is a potent electric dragon that I had never encountered prior to Sunbreak. Astalos. He is actually pretty well armored with scarce weak spots. His head is one of those weak spots, but is so narrow that you can easily miss as a GS user unintentionally. He has some amazingly unique electric attacks that involve controlling beams from the sky, beams in front of him, and giant exploding electric balls, as well as a devastating electric tail charge attack that can paralyze you if he stings. If he had more health and was a little bit more damaging, he'd probably be mistaken as an Elder Dragon or classified as such. Overall, as a GS user, his damage comes almost entirely from his electric attacks, and his slim figure does extend the fight a bit due to his small hitboxes. Overall, Astalos made me use 6 potions, 11 Palico heals, and was cleared in 7 minutes and 52 seconds with no carts.
Okay, so this clip is great for many reasons, showcasing almost all of the ways you can use that charge switch. So in the beginning, I kind of used it like an evade because I knew the Astalos like ball was coming because he stabbed his tail in the ground. And then, so we do a switch skill swap evade, boom, right? Charge up to 3, boom, boom, boom. Use it to get into a better position so I can land the step smash, boom. Now, I'm here, I charge switch again to get closer to close the gap, boom, boom, boom. Use up the yellow and finish the hunt. Don't you just love to see smooth moves like that? Alright, so once again, Fiore takes the Wyvern ride, but I get stuck on the wing here. F it, I'll just jump over the wing with Impact Crater. But then he gets stunned. Oh well, still landed the 2 Impact Craters, and then I do a bunch of charge switching around, you know, like I've been talking about this whole time, landing many consecutive level 3 attacks. Bow, I knew his head would fall just like that. I mean, we've been hunting Astalos since the demo days of Sunbreak, right? But check this out, it gets better. Bang, I get to score a KO and continue the assault on the Astalos crest. I mean, don't you just love it when all the variables line up like that? Boom.
This B-52 bomber of a monster is exactly why I procrastinated doing this set of wyverns. This drive-by monster has terrorized hunters since Monster Hunter World and was often a victim of dung pods because it is so much of a nuisance. Boiled goose. Basil Goose. Basil Goose's signature feature is its relentless bombing. Basil Goose's bombs are a bit of a counter to the playstyle of traditional greatsword use, due to our kit being designed to power through incoming attacks and return the damage. Powering through too many bombs will result in your cart. His bombs are deceptively small, but they pack a large blast radius. The bombs appear to originate from his tail, trunk, and neck, but the frequency of use does not appear to be impacted by cutting off his tail. And speaking of tail, it's a tantalizing target for GS users, and so is the massive glowing sack underneath his chin. I don't have any complaints about his hitbox, but I will say at times he's hard to reach just from his sheer size. Taking down this explosive goose cost me 6 potions, 12 Palico heals, and an average clear time of 9 minutes with no cart. Astalos.
This clip, more charge switching propaganda. Get ready. So, boom, I score a knockdown, right? Alright, let me reposition with the charge switch. Bang, bang, bang. Charge switch back. Land the brutal big bang right here. Whack. Great. 1100 damage on a brutal big bang. Basil Goose has just such a nice, juicy head hit zone. I'm sliding all over the place, not really enjoying it, but he tries to take off, he can't do it. Again, I charge switch to get under the wing, right? You know how, that's all happened to us before, right? Where like you can't really walk past the wing of a monster. Doesn't matter. Charge switch right through it. End of the hunt. Oh yeah, so this right here, this is the opening to the hunt. As you can hear, the music ain't even playing yet, right? So, boom, we charge up, we get in there, big smack to blow, both the baggy and the Basil Goose, Bagel Goose, right? We're chilling, okay. Boom, boom, landing all the headshots all day, right? I put my impact burst on, my little buff to the charge moves. Another step slash. Bang, a KO. I bet I'll jump off, charge in his direction. Perfect. I can't charge switch in the air, but that's okay. While I was falling down after jumping off the cliff, kept on holding that charge button. And then, of course, more charge switch juiciness for you. And no, you can't roll. I'm not done yet.
Finally, we get to the king of Pseudo Wyverns. If you think he looks familiar, that's because he is. Seething Bagel Goose is very familiar in terms of his playstyle to the base form, but just on steroids. He is constantly spamming bombs, but this time they hit harder, glow more purple, and have a much larger blast radius than before. He definitely displayed his lethality during one of my runs and caused me to cart not once, but twice. The second cart may have been avoided if my potion actually had registered, but it didn't. However, I will give him some style points because of that sick leg sweep that he pulled off. Anyway, after reliving World War II a couple dozen times, he finally calmed down and I ended his life. This took a whopping 17 potions, 13 Palico heals, and was completed in 12 minutes and 22 seconds on average with 2 carts.
This clip highlights one of my favorite hammer skills in this game, keeping sway, right? So that little wire bug dash lets you keep your charge and you're invincible as you start up the dash, right? So I dashed out, then dashed back in, got the pop on the chin, then I got the pop on the tail. Now guess what? Bang, we got the KO as well. So many level 3 attacks landed, and I'm not done cooking. Check it out. Ooh, charge switch to yellow, bang, bang, bang. Charge switch back to blue, hit him with a step smash. In this clip, I used Silkbind Spinning Bludgeon, which I don't really use. I used it to dodge the tail smack and score a knockdown. And then, ooh, and we get the charge switch back to blue, straight into the impact crater. Look at this juicy damage. Bang, bang. Ooh.
With that all said and done, we have finally made it back to the data section. Real quick, here's the raw data for those that are interested with a tabulated breakdown of all the measured endpoints. And here are some top tier hammer data from Jaycan. Alright, so this is the second guest I've collaborated with that definitely excels at not getting hit as much as I do. He straight up demolished the target monster without having to use hardly any heals. Comparing head to head here, his ranking is actually quite different from mine, but unsurprisingly, Seething Goose was the hardest for him as well. I asked him why he smoked Astalos so hard, and I believe it just comes down to ease and comfort. He mentioned fighting him a lot in the demo. Baryoth, on the other hand, was a little bit harder for him to take down, and he attributes this to tunnel visioning on his head too much. Finally, Jay and I both came to the similar conclusion about the Basil Goose family's hitboxes, but he was able to capitalize on the hitboxes more as a hammer main, and he was able to drive down Basil Goose's difficulty beneath Sergio's. Putting that all together, we get a tier list that everyone's been waiting for. Coming in dead last, to no one's surprise, is Baryoth, with a measly 3 points. Quite a bit higher in this difficulty list is Sergio's, with 9.83 points. Astalos barely pulls ahead with 10 points, even with the cart contribution from Steve. Basil Goose, with all his bombs, scored 12 points, and coming in the #1 spot, with somehow even more bombs, is Seething Basil Goose with 16.66 points. Here I present the Wyvern tier list from the previous 3 videos, and we can see a pretty heavy occupancy in the upper echelon. It's not too surprising, seeing as all of these monsters are the upgraded form of their base form. It's just interesting that they will all fall within a relatively similar difficulty tier. Now putting it all together, we see a magnificent collage. The highest rank is a bit barren just due to the point spacing and the way the numbers fell, but I will say Lucent Nargacuga and Silver Rathalos are only a couple points away from joining Seething Basil Goose and Mitsuzuni on top. The next edition of monsters should inflate their values to bring them back up top again. And with that, I have successfully completed the entire series of the Leviathans, the Fanged Wyverns, and the Winged Wyverns. This last one was quite a massive list that made up 17 of the 29 completed monsters. If anyone has a preference for which species type to cover next, you can put that in the comments below. I would like to give a big thanks to Jaycan and would really appreciate my viewers checking out his channel and giving him support. I've posted his socials in the description below. Please like and subscribe, and as always, I appreciate those that stuck through this journey with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.